Hey guys, my name's Frank, and this is my workshop. Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm working on the power cable that'll run from the 240 volt outlet in my ceiling to where my plasma table will be. So the existing outlet is up here in the ceiling. So I got a cable to run across the ceiling and then down this wall to a plug on this wall. So that's my task right now, is to put that cable together. I got 30 feet of 3 conductor 10 gauge cable, and got the male plug that'll go in the ceiling, and the other end of this cable will go into this box that'll have the two 30 amp 240 volt outlets in it, and I'll mount that on the wall. All right, so I'm basically building an elaborate extension cord. You can't always anticipate where you need electrical outlets in the shop. Sometimes the only way to do it is to run an extension cord. And in fact, the outlets in the ceiling, were put there because, I wasn't sure where all my tools would be located. I've got several sets of 240 volt outlets in the ceiling. I've got one there. I've got one over there, and I've got one, up here for my planer, and it also runs the mill. They're both run on 240 volt. Anyway, so I'm going to put this cable together. Pretty straightforward. It's only 3 wires, 2 hots, and a ground. All right, so let's do that. All right, so I already threaded the cable through the plug cover, stripped the outer jacket off, cut the extra cardboard there. My wire cutters will strip it back about ½ inch. All right. There's nothing special about this. We're just putting together a large extension cord, and this is how you would make any extension cord. So this is a L630, so it's a 3 conductor 30 amp 240 volt twist lock plug. Matches the receptacle in the ceiling. It's got 3 pins on it. It's got a grounding pin, and then these other 2 are both hot. And looking at the plug, you can tell green is ground. The other 2 are by default hot. In fact, they're marked G for ground, X and Y for the 2 hot connections. If it was 3-phase, I guess it'd be marked X, Y, Z, I do believe. Okay, so now it's just a matter of getting these conductors into these holes without, losing a lot of strands or having any stray strands that would short out. So we back the connectors in. We'll get the ground connector in there first. Get a little bit of tension on that one. Not fully tight yet. It doesn't matter which of these 2 goes in the other 2, they're not Don't have to be specific as long as they're both hot. Now, this cable is 3-conductor, so it's black and white, so they're both hot. Now, normally white wire in 110-volt circuits is a neutral and is not a hot wire. Does not carry voltage. But in a 3-wire, that's what you get. So, I mean, your dryer in your house, if you have an electric dryer, or your well 220, 240 volt well pump, same arrangement. Okay, so those are good and tight. The shell is keyed to the plug, so you turn it around so that this protrusion matches up with the notch there. Push it on. All right. Little screws. Alright, and then I just check them with this, make sure they're good and tight. Alright, last thing is the strain relief, and that is the clamp on the cord itself, so if you pull on the cord, you're not pulling on those connections within the plug. The strain relief takes the strain, and there's a couple little bolts here which go through, a little nut, maybe. All right, a little nut to sit down inside it, the recess. Get the screw in here. Try to get the nut started. And I think I got it. Yeah. So the nuts are both started. Tighten them down equally. So the strain relief grips the cord. So when you tug on the cord, it doesn't pull the wires out of the plug itself. All right, so that's the plug. All right, I've got the circuit breaker turned off on this particular circuit, and so I'm gonna go ahead and run the cable. All right, so the cord is just suspended from the ceiling. I just put some, they're actually PVC conduit clamps to hang it from the ceiling. So it's just an extension cord, so that's a reasonable way to do it. All right, now we're going to wire this box, and we'll... All right, I'm actually going to leave this cable long in case I, ever need to relocate it. Let's see if we can get a strain relief in here. Alright, so that strain relief fits in there tight. It's got a press fit ring around it. Alright, since I'm going from this stranded wire to these receptacles, which are normally wired with solid wire, solid copper wire, I'm going, and I gotta have 2 sets of wires, I'm going to transition from the stranded wire to solid wire using a couple of pieces of 10 gauge solid wire and some wire nuts. Strip this a little bit longer than the plug in. It's going to go in wire nuts. So I just happen to have some 10 gauge Romex. Couple pieces. All right, I'm twisting together these solid conductors just to make sure they make good contact before I put them in the wire nut. There's probably a better tool for this, but I got what I got. Alright, so that's just to get those two conductors mechanically attached. So when I wrap this stranded wire, bring the stranded wire into the equation, it makes a good connection. So these wire nuts are designed for, they come in all different sizes. These are large for heavy gauge wires. Alright, last one is the ground. Didn't work too well. This 10 gauge wire is pretty heavy, a little tough to deal with. Alright, so on the receptacles, it's similar to the plugs. You've got a green for the ground, and then the other two plugs by default are your two hot wires. I'll make this state this caveat. I'm not saying this is necessarily the way you should do it or it's the correct way to do it. It is a way that will work. So if you do this, you're on your own. Okay, I don't have the faceplate to put on here. I do need to get that, so let's go ahead and mount this, on the wall temporarily at least. All right, so all I gotta do is get a cover for this box, which I'll do in the next day or so. All right, so that's an extension cord for a welder. It's as easy as that to do. All right. Thanks for watching. If you like these kinds of videos, hit the thumbs up. Make a comment down below if you have any suggestions or questions. And a thumbs up and a subscribe would be appreciated. All right. See you guys next time.